So, for the past week, some friends and I have all been studying at the Technion and working on a special project. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is this project and what's the purpose of doing it? Well, this project is put on by something called Brain Tech, and this exact event is called Toy Story, as you can see on the shirt that they gave out to all the participants. Now, this event is basically an event where you are supposed to create a toy that is educational and teaches and serves some kind of purpose. Because those were the only guidelines that we were given, the toys that were developed were so diverse. There were some toys that were invented that were based on computers, that were based on Arduino, that were based on toy stuffed animals, that were based on spelling and learning. And I think the coolest one that we saw there was probably this one sign language toy. And basically what this toy did was it was a computer software that had a game level where a little guy would run across the screen, and whenever an obstacle would come up, you had to sign whatever the Hebrew sign language is. I don't know what it is. And they had a 3D camera that would basically read whatever hand gestures you were doing. And I feel like an idiot doing this right now. But the computer with the 3D camera would see what your hand was doing, and if you signed the right letter that they were wanting you to sign, or sign the right word, then you would be able to jump over the obstacle and continue into the game. So it was a very cool, creative toy that was developed at the Brain Tech. What our team developed was a toy that was based on sound and visualization. After we knew that we wanted to create a project that people can learn visually from, well, the next step was, what do we want to teach them? And so we came up with a cool toy that was able to visually show sound waves. Now you might be saying, how do you visually see a sound wave? And so this is where our toy comes in. One thing that many people don't know is that sound is not a two-dimensional thing that you see on the curve, like the sinus wave curve. It's not a three-dimensional, which is mind-blowing already, but it's actually a four-dimensional being. It's a four-dimensional element, not element. It's 4 dimensions, it has 4 dimensions to it. Basically what we did was we sought out to show the third dimension of sound. Now, how can we do this? Well, what we decided to do was we built a container that held a speaker that we can play sounds and frequencies through. Now, what else did we do? Well, we also had a rubber membrane over the surface. Now, what this did is it contained and sealed all the sound waves inside that would fluctuate the air pressures inside. Okay, and then the next step that we had to do was we had to put a little reflective glass piece on the surface of the rubber membrane. Now, what this did was it allowed us to interrogate a very small section on the rubber membrane with a laser and project that onto the wall. Now what this did was it showed us a very, very small portion and section of the sound wave that was being played through the speaker. It allowed us to see the little small section of three-dimensional sound that was being played through the speaker. Now this is just mind-blowing. We came up with the concept, we designed it, we built it, and then we tested it out, and everything worked amazingly. And I want to show you guys some of that footage now. If you see an image that is just a single curve, not fluctuating, not moving at all, this is showing a single frequency. Now, how does a single frequency develop a three-dimensional object like this? Well, if you look on the rubber membrane, which you can't see with a human eye, but the piece of glass is sitting on top, and the rubber membrane is fluctuating in 3 dimensions, which is catching the three-dimensional capability of sound. So as it fluctuates in 3 dimensions like this, what it allows us to do is, like I said, interrogate it with a laser, and then it draws a 3-dimensional object on the wall, right, in the whatever curve it is. That is just a single frequency. A single frequency allows us to see just a single, steady, solid curve. 3-dimensional curve. Now, once we add another frequency in there, it begins to create new patterns, because what happens is, if you just look at a single frequency, like let's say it's making a circle like this, a circle, then you look at another frequency that's like more linear, like this, then what will happen is you'll have like an object that will fluctuate between a line and a circle. So it's combining and mixing the two, and it's really cool to see this. if you're placing two waves in similar frequencies and just off by a few hertz, what happens is the object begins to oscillate in and out. And you can see this in our Maccabee Santa video here.
Wow, 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 wow.
So you might think that some of our little examples are goofy, and well, they are. But that's the whole purpose. It's a toy. It's to show science. It's to be enjoyable, to be fun. And so what we did for this holiday season is we had a Santa hat on top of a picture of a Maccabee, a hypothetical version of a Maccabee. Hanukkah is based on the story of the Maccabees and the redemption of the temple and stuff like that. So that's why we had the Maccabee, but then the Christmas hat, I don't know, they were just lying around Technion. So we just grabbed one and taped it up on the wall. But that's where that one came from as well. Listening to frequencies at random points can be annoying and can be boring, and you know, over time it's just like your parents would probably get annoyed and stuff like that. So what we also tested was music. What happens when you see music? Not just a single frequency, but you know, like any type of music. And so we tested like classical, piano, classical music, opera, we tested techno, we tested jazz, we tested all these different genres. And I think the coolest ones that you could see were probably the piano music. Because inside of piano music, you know, you can see the chord structure being played on the wall. Because before, when we were testing with frequencies, you can see the shapes that those frequencies made, and now that you're playing like a single chord, you can see those frequencies being mixed together to create those rotating or fluctuating three-dimensional objects, and it's quite cool. Now another cool one was to look at like dubstep or sounds that had lots of bass to them. And with that, I'll have this clip right here that we recorded as well. So happy holidays, guys. Subscribe, comment down below on what you want to see next in the future. And oh, by the way, I talked about that song with my friend and we recorded the audio. Now we just need to get the visual down, the video down, and he's actually joined the IDF, so he is on duty basically for like the next 3 months. He might be able to come back on a weekend, but we'll see. That video is, I'm wanting to have that video come out very soon. Other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.